Hi, my name is Lori Miggins, and I am here to get you started with this Dash to Diamond training. And I am here to talk to you about telling your story and sharing your story. And those of you that are here in this group right now, you've probably started to tell your story, share your story a bit on social media. And maybe you're struggling with your coaches telling their story. So if you're struggling with telling your story, this is going to help you. And if you have coaches that are struggling with telling their story, this is going to help them too. Keep in mind that everything that we share with you throughout this training is meant for you to bring back and to share with your teams, because that's what we're doing here. We're teaching you to duplicate. We're teaching you not only to help yourself, but also to help you train the coaches on your team. So I'm here to talk to you about telling your story. You may lack confidence in telling your story. You may feel like you don't even have a story. You may look around at other coaches within the network and think, wow, they have quite a story. And then you may even find yourself trying to make other people's stories your story. You may listen to someone else tell their story and you say, okay, well, that could be me. I could do that. Yeah, that's happened to me a little bit. Maybe I could change that a little bit. And maybe you're finding yourself watching other coaches and wishing that your story was like theirs, and maybe changing just whatever you're doing with other coaches. Get ideas, but don't try to make their story your own. You really need to learn to be vulnerable. You need to learn to share the things that may be a little bit uncomfortable, because it's those things that are going to bring you the confidence and the connections and the appreciation from other people that are watching and listening. And it's really going to allow them to hear your story. So you really have to learn to be vulnerable. And by the end of this little training that I'm going to do for you, hopefully it will give you that confidence to be more vulnerable. First of all, I want to tell you that every single one of you has a story, no matter what. Even if you don't think you do by the end of this, hopefully this will give you some guidelines to help you create your story. And also keep in mind that your story is always changing. Your story is always morphing. Your story may be becoming more a little bit easier, or you may be struggling with more things, but your story is always being created, and you need to share that. Just because you share it once, you need to continue to share how your story is changing. Some things to think about, and I'm going to walk you through a little exercise, but some things that you can think about is, what first drew you to Beachbody? What specific things convinced you that this choice that you made was the right choice? What are your goals with Beachbody? What are your goals as a challenger? What are your goals as a coach? These are all things that can help you create your story. And what do you hope Beachbody will do for you one day? As a coach, what are you hoping that your goals, once you meet your goals, what do you hope that Beachbody is going to do for you one day? And how has Beachbody changed your life? And that's one of those that continues to change. I mean, in the beginning as a challenger, of course, your transformation, whether it's mental or physical. But then as a coach, Beachbody is constantly changing your life with the successes that you have. And if you're in the middle of a transformation, if you're not at your goal or your ideal weight, which is really the best place to be when you're a coach, where are you going with this? What are you doing? What are you hoping to become? Where are you hoping to go? And why? Why are you motivated to get there? So these are all things that I'm going to help you to get to a point and realize. And then we're going to talk about how putting your story out there and becoming more vulnerable is going to bring you success. It's going to make you feel more comfortable. And I'm going to talk about ways to practice putting your story out there, starting small, starting, maybe just talking to one person about it and then sharing with your team and then sharing with your challenge group and then sharing publicly on your public page. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to grab 3 pieces of paper, 3 pieces of blank paper like this, okay? So go ahead and do that. Go grab 3 pieces of paper, put me on pause, paper and a pen or a pencil. But the first piece of paper, and I used to be a teacher, so I'm very visual. I love graphic organizers. So the first thing I want you to do is just make a circle in the middle of the paper, just like this. And I want you to write in there, the old me. So pre-Beachbody, okay? So like you're simply just, this is kind of, I think it's called a story map. But this is like a web. And what we're gonna do is we are going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines off of your circle. Now this is the old you, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to, on the edge of the first line, any line that you want, I want you to write the word feelings. What were your internal feelings about yourself before Beachbody? Before Beachbody was brought in your life, before you were a challenger, what were your feelings? So just take a minute to write down some of your feelings, whether it's, maybe you were anxious, maybe you were sad, maybe you were, you felt, maybe you were miserable in your own skin. Any feelings that you had before you were a challenger. And then and then put a circle around it. So it's like that. It's like a circle coming out of the circle. And then in the next line, I want you to write the word nutrition. And underline it. And then write things that you used to think about before Beachbody about nutrition. What did you know? What did you do concerning eating and cooking? Maybe you had a lot of fast food. Maybe you did a lot of prepackaged meals. Maybe you just shopped based on fat-free. You just bought fat-free stuff. Maybe you were on diets all the time. Maybe you ate a lot of candy, chocolate, Coca-Cola. So just write down anything that you used to do as far as nutrition. And then put a circle around it. And then on the next line, we're going to write the word fitness. And what are some things that you did before Beachbody relating to fitness? I know I went to the gym. I was nervous at the gym because I didn't know what to do. I had some home workouts, but I didn't necessarily do them. Write down all the things about fitness before Beachbody that comes to mind that you used to do, the old you, and then put a circle around it. Okay, and then the next one I want you to do is, what was your role? Your role in life. So, mom, teacher, caretaker, you took care of your home, all the things that you did, your role in life, and then put a circle around that. And then your next one is going to be clothes. So we've got all of our circles, and the next one is clothes. What are some of the clothes that you used to wear? How did you feel when you put on your clothes? What did you think about when you went shopping? Was shopping a good experience? Was it a bad experience? Did you find that you were buying things that were, large? Did you wear your husband's clothes? I know for me, I would sleep in boxer shorts and one of his t-shirts. I was just so uncomfortable with myself, and that's the only thing that was comfortable to sleep in. So anything that, comes to mind before Beachbody that has to do with clothes. And then you should have one more, let's see, one more, yes. And this is just going to be other. And this is where I want you to put anything else that you were feeling that you can think about before Beachbody was brought in your life. And put that there. Anything that came to mind maybe when you were filling out the other circles. But this is the old you. This is a picture of the old you. So I know for me, for the other, I'm going to put like I was always yearning to be a before and after. I would watch those infomercials and I would see those before and after pictures, and I wanted to be one of those so badly. I also wanted a personal trainer. I guess I could put that for fitness also, but you see what I'm saying. So I want you to keep this picture. This is a picture, a snapshot of the old you. Basically, this is the person that you're speaking to. When you share your story, you're speaking to this person because this was the person you used to be that needed what you have now. So you need to constantly think about that person that you used to be. And this should remind you to step back into those shoes of the person that you used to be. Now with that other piece of paper, one of those other pieces of paper that I asked you to get, I want you to fold it in half. And on the left side, I want you to write 5 things that you love. 5 things that you love to talk about. This should be really, really easy, and you're probably going to come up with, I came up with 9 really quickly. So 5 things that you love to talk about. And one of them can, yes, be fitness and nutrition. Don't put them separate. Put them together, fitness and nutrition, because as a Beachbody coach now, that's one thing that we love to talk about, fitness, nutrition. And in fitness, that is, working out, your workouts that you're doing. Nutrition is recipes and things like that. So just put it down. Every single one of you should have number 1, fitness and nutrition. If you have kids, number 2 should be your kids. Or maybe in the opposite order. Maybe kids should come first. I know for me, I love organizing, so that's one of mine. And write these down as I'm talking. Another thing that I love, 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 and I put these all in one. Flip-flops, I love headbands, and I love sneakers. They're kind of all, I wouldn't say I love fashion because that's not me. I'm not into fashion, but you might want to put fashion. But those are the 3 things that I absolutely love. I'm sort of like and I guess I could put tomboy. I was a tomboy growing up, so those kind of things that deal with fashion are me. Another thing I love, and I put this under 1, is beach, anchors, starfish, shells. I didn't want to take up 4 separate ones, but nautical things is what I love, and those are the things that I love. Another thing I love, love, love is growing pineapples, and I love gardening, sort of, some gardening. So that's another thing I love to do. Another thing I absolutely love is chapstick. I don't know why, but give me a good chapstick and I freaking love it. And another thing is bracelets, like these kind of sporty bracelets, just something that I love. And then I love the color green. So those are some quick things that I wrote down that are things that I love. Okay, now on the other side, so on the right side, I want you to write down 5 things that you struggle with. Okay, 5 things that constantly in your life every single day is a struggle. And this is going to be hard. This is going to be those things that are really hard. Maybe it's going to be easy for you to write them down, but these are those things in life that really hold you back. And while you're writing these down, I'll just share mine with you. My biggest struggle right now is grief. Those of you that know me and follow me and know my story, I lost both of my parents super young. I lost my father before I found Beachbody. I believe that my challenge group and Beachbody in general helped me get through that. And in the midst of this, about a year into coaching, I lost my mom unexpectedly. Both unexpected deaths. I used my mom to help me get through my dad, and now I lost my mom. And I really truly believe that if I didn't have Beachbody in my life, I don't know where I would be. So grief is a huge thing, and Beachbody coaching and my team has really, really helped me overcome, or helps me. I wouldn't say I've overcome it, but has helped me get through it and do some things that maybe I wouldn't have done if I hadn't had it in my life. So grief is number one on my list. Another thing is, and it may seem a little, I don't know, my thighs. My thighs are that one area of my body that I struggle with. So I put that down. I'm a perfectionist. I like to be in control. I like things to be all set and all my ducks in a row at all times. So that is something that I struggle with, because you can't be perfect. Everyone has a flaw, and we need to embrace it. And when things go wrong, we need to learn how to deal with it. So that is something that I struggle with. Anxiety. I have always had anxiety my entire life. And it's something that I actually used to take medication for, and I don't anymore. So, sorry, there's like messages popping up. I'm just trying to get them out of the way. So anxiety is another struggle for me. And I only came up with 4 struggles. And I know I have a lot more that I talk about on a daily basis, but write down at least 5 struggles. So this page that we just made with the 5 and 5 on each side, these are the things that you're going to be sharing about on social media that are going to help you tell your story on a daily basis. Because this is you. This isn't someone else. This is you. This is not the top coach that you follow, because, maybe they also like flip-flops, but are they struggling with grief? No. And I talk about randomly going shopping, and I used to do this with my mom all the time, and buying certain things. And, now I go shopping and I buy the certain things I used to not, because it would remind me of her, but now I do, because I'm getting over my grief, which is a struggle, and it helps me get through by doing the things that I used to do, that I used to put off and not do. So by sharing them together, you'll find that when you share your strengths, the things that you love and the things that you struggle with, it helps you to tell your story, and you're going to have people that are going to relate to you by sharing those things that are you, not someone else. So this piece of paper that you just created, hang this up, put this somewhere near you, so that when you're struggling to share, you've got this right here. And then the one that we made before, the story web, this is the one that reminds you of the person that you're speaking to. So you're going to use the things that you know to share about to speak to the person that you used to be. So hopefully that will help you to tell your story like that. One other thing I want to have you do right now is those things that we just made. Why are you not sharing more? Why are you not putting it out there? Why are you not sharing to this person? This person is waiting for you to help them. What are the fears that are holding you back? So on that third piece of paper, I want you to write 5 fears that are holding you back. Maybe there's a person, maybe you have a mother-in-law that you're afraid is going to see your post and think you're crazy. Maybe you have that best friend from high school or college. Maybe it's not a person that's a fear. Maybe you're just, maybe you've got something else going on that's holding you back. Maybe you have, anxiety. Like I mentioned before, you can put that on here. Maybe you're afraid your anxiety is going to shoot through the roof after you hit enter and post something really scary on social media. Maybe you're afraid of, your ex-boyfriend, or who knows, maybe there's people that you're afraid of that are holding you back. But I want you to write those fears down And I'm going to give you a few more minutes to write them down on this piece of paper. The fears that are holding you back. And this is an amazing exercise to do with your new coaches also. Besides the two that we just did, this one is fantastic. This one seems to be the one that helps my coaches the most that I've talked to. But once you have your 5 fears written down, I want you to fold this piece of paper in half and in half again. And then I want you to rip it. And I want you to rip it up again. And I want you to rip it up again, if you can, or take the pieces of paper and shred them into the smallest pieces that you can possibly shred them into. Because we're shredding our fears. We're getting rid of our fears, and we're not going to have them anymore. They're gone. The fears are gone because the fears aren't worth it. The amount of people that you can help if you can get rid of those fears is so much more than allowing these fears to hold you back. And you'll find that once you get over those fears, you're strengthening yourself as well, and your own confidence is building. Once you help a few people because you get over those fears, then your confidence builds, and then you're helping yourself. And it's a constant. You keep going. And it's almost like a snowball effect. You know, you help one person, you help more, you help more, you help more, you keep going, and you keep sharing, and you continue to share. And every single month, you should reshare and retell your story. You know, you may want to start out every month with introducing yourself to the world. You know, maybe on like a flashback Friday, you could say, oh, here I am again sharing my story. And then throughout the month, drip your story by looking at the sheets that we created together, your strengths, your weaknesses, and speak to the person that you used to be. So hopefully that will help you. I want to see in the comments below this video, take a snapshot of these. You don't have to show me your fears because they're shredded. They're on the floor, right? And if you want to, take a picture of your shredded fears. But share below this video what we created, snapshot of yourself like this. Share below, and hopefully this will help you tell your story. And go out there and share your story, because you never know who needs to hear it, right? You never know who needs to hear your story, so you can help them, so they can be the next challenger in your challenge group, so they can be your next coach. And be that role model coach for your coaches now and your challengers now by sharing your story, because the more you share, the more they will too. Okay? Thank you for listening. I hope this helps you to share your story.